Tonight, I decided to invite a friend over for dinner. Earlier at breakfast, my wife Gloria, who had been by my side for 24 years, casually dropped some news. We had met at the gym, and she'd be spending quite a bit of time with him. She spoke with a hint of excitement, saying, "I want you to meet him. After all, we don't have secrets, right?" Curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't help but ask, "So you two will be working out together?" Her response was playful, yet there was an undertone I hadn't expected. In a way, yes, it might be quite physical. My heart began to race as the pieces slowly started to fall into place. "It sounds like you want to be close to this guy," I said, trying to mask the surprise in my voice. "Is that right?" She grinned mischievously, her eyes sparkling. Then, taking a deep breath, Gloria's expression shifted, becoming more serious. "I've realized something important," she said softly. "As much as I love you, and I do love you, I've come to understand that I need more than just one man in my life. For 20 years, I've been a devoted wife, but lately, I've felt an emptiness gnawing at me. Then I met Matthew, and he filled that void in a way I never expected. I believe he's my soulmate." Her words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. I couldn't help but marvel at her confession. "Wow," I muttered, barely able to comprehend what she had said. "I didn't know someone could have more than one soulmate. Does that mean I've been left in the past?" She laughed, her eyes softening. "No, silly. You were the first in my life, and you'll always be my main soulmate." The conversation left me in a state of confusion. Yeah, I couldn't deny that I was intrigued. Life was taking a turn I hadn't anticipated, and I felt both anxious and curious about what lay ahead. "I want to be completely honest with you," she continued, her voice sincere. "I invited him over for your benefit. I truly hope you'll see the same wonderful qualities in him that I do, and that a friendship might blossom between you two. That way, I won't feel like I'm hiding anything." Honestly, I wasn't sure how to react. I tried to gather my thoughts, but nothing came to mind. As far as I knew, she had never been wrong before. With a heavy heart, I slipped out of the house and headed to work, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing down on me. Gloria wore that self-satisfied look on her face, as if she had discovered the secret to a blissful life. I couldn't shake the nagging thought of whether I'd even be having dinner at home that evening. The day was light in terms of work, so I had plenty of time to ponder, wondering if I could somehow disrupt her plans. By the time I returned home, the familiar scent of a special dinner filled the air, wrapping around me like a comforting embrace. Gloria, hearing my arrival, called out from our bedroom, "Dinner's almost ready. I'll be down in a minute." Her voice was cheerful, but I could sense the tension lurking beneath it. Matthew's arrival was imminent, and the anticipation hung in the air. "Get him a drink and make him feel at home," Gloria instructed, her excitement clear in her tone. Just as I was about to speak, the door swung open and Matthew entered, without knocking, without ringing the bell, just as if he owned the place. "Hey, Mark, I'm Matthew," he announced, extending his hand, a smug smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "I appreciate you sharing your wife with me." I hesitated for a moment, sizing him up. He was young, fit, and undeniably handsome, but there was nothing about him that made me feel threatened. "Gloria will be down soon," I said coolly. "She asked me to offer you a drink." "Scotch neat would be great," he replied, his confidence unshaken. So he was a man of taste. It was nice to know he appreciated a fine single malt as much as I did. But then it hit me. He had been here before, enjoying not just whiskey, but possibly my wife's company as well. "The bar is over there," I said, pointing to the drinks. "Help yourself and then join me. We can get to know each other better." Without hesitation, Matthew approached the bar, skillfully selecting a bottle of top-shelf liquor and pouring himself a generous glass. Once he settled into the seat across from me, I tried to break the ice. "So, Gloria mentioned you two met at the gym," I said, curious about what had brought him here tonight. I settled into my favorite chair, fully aware that had I not claimed it first, someone else would have snatched it up without a second thought. "So, Did she turn on the charm right away, or did she play coy before reeling you in? I asked, intrigued by the flash of confusion in his eyes. He shrugged, a slight smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. We met for coffee a few times, and it was an undeniable connection, he said, his voice tinged with nostalgia. And then, well, one thing led to another. I raised an eyebrow, pleasantly surprised. When she casually mentioned inviting someone over for dinner, I'd expected it to be Paul. But seeing Matthew sitting across from me was a surprising twist. Paul? No way, he responded, trying to mask his curiosity. I'm Matthew, he confirmed, as if that should explain everything. Maybe Paul had been scared off by whatever Gloria had planned for him. I ran into him at the doctor's last week, and he looked like he had seen a ghost. Matthew shifted uncomfortably in his seat, taking a large gulp of whiskey. A slight flush crept onto his cheeks. Just then, the atmosphere shifted dramatically as Gloria descended the stairs in a stunning red dress. Her hair cascaded over her shoulders in perfect waves, and her makeup was flawless. She had an aura that seemed to light up the entire room, and it was impossible not to be captivated by her presence. I see you've already met, she said, a mischievous glint in her eyes. Honestly, she looked like the cat that had just caught the canary. Oh, yes, I replied, my tone light and playful. I was just telling Matthew about running into Paul at the doctor's last week. He was whining about the social disease you gave him. I said it with such cheerfulness, as if it were the most ordinary topic to discuss. She hissed, narrowing her eyes. What are you talking about? Who the hell is Paul? I've never given anyone anything. I smirked. Come on, you told me all about Matthew, didn't you? Surely you shared some of your other victories as well. I was surprised to see Paul instead of Matthew today. I thought maybe the pain had scared Paul off, but let me tell you, that arrogant jerk waltzing into my home as if he owned the place. Wait, did you actually give him a key? Matthew asked, looking puzzled. Don't listen to him, Gloria interjected, shooting me a reproachful glance. He's just messing with you. There's no Paul, no disease, and certainly no one else. Well, except for Mark. Her gaze lingered on me, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. But can we be sure of that? She added, her voice quieter. I turned to Matthew, my voice steady but edged with sharpness. Let's put this in perspective. If my devoted wife can throw away our vows and betray me with some muscle-bound fool from the gym, what makes you think she wouldn't do the same with some random guy like you? And if she hasn't already done her research around town, what's stopping her from doing it now? A cheater is a cheater, no matter how you spin it. Their reactions were priceless. Matthew's face was a mix of disbelief and shock, while my wife's face flushed with rage. She told me you were the one sleeping with her without protection. I continued, my tone dripping with disdain. Here's a tip. When you're with her, you might want to double up on protection. Just a thought. Now, goodbye, dear. I finished, the finality of my words hanging in the air. Neither of them knew that the conversation had been recorded. And now, for my sweet revenge, I plan to send this recording not only to our kids, but also to release it into the wilds of the internet with a headline featuring the cheater's photo. And that concludes the story. If you liked it, hit that powerful like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.